Hello and welcome to post-commentary of Fire Emblem 6, The Binding Blade. We're taking on Chapter 10, Western Resistance. And let's get right into it. 3 separate islands. Fibernia, Caledonia, and Dia. All of these islands are rich in minerals, and the mining is the economic backbone. The largest mine is located in Eberacum, in the north of Fibernia. Roy leads his forces towards Eberacum, hoping to learn more about the bandits. To get to Eberacum, one must pass a castle located nearby. Roy sends a messenger to Sir Nord, lord of the castle, to request permission to pass through his lands. Because Roy and company are in the Isles of Etruria's on Etruria's request, they don't anticipate trouble gaining Nord's support. But not everything is as simple as it appears. And here's our chapter. And we're going to do some prep real quick, and I'll meet you guys back after that. Alright, and let's do this. Chapter 10, Western Resistance. What can you tell me about that spy from the Resistance? You mean the dancer called Lalum? We threw her in the dungeon, sire. Has she told you anything? No, she keeps insisting that she's not affiliated with the Resistance. A liar, is she? Perhaps I should interrogate her myself. Sir Nord. What is it? There's a messenger here from the Lycian army. The army that was sent up to clean up the Isles was sent to clean up the bandits on the Isles. It seems that they want permission to pass through Eberacum. Lord Arcado told us to get rid of the Lycian army and their time here. If we impress Lord Arcado, he may see fit to reward us. Deploy the troops and finish them here. Yes, sire. And the messenger? Kill him. Understood, sire. Be sure to deploy the ballista. Use it to defeat the Lycian army before they even reach you. Yes, sire. Just make sure the enemy doesn't get a hold of it. Lord Roy, soldiers are flowing out from the castle. Are there bandits around here? No, they seem to be heading towards us, actually. What about the messenger? He hasn't returned, which may mean the worst. He hasn't returned. Why is Sir Nord attacking us? The enemy draws near. Lord Roy, what are your orders? I guess we have no choice but to fight. We might learn something if we can reach the castle. Yes, my lord, you're right. Alright then. Storm the castle. But have mercy, some of their soldiers may be willing to listen. And we're starting out. Now, the reason this is post-commentary is I'm dumb, and during recording I had this little issue where I didn't know how to hit a little red button on a certain audio recording software before I started this episode. So I recorded the whole episode, commentary and all, and never recorded it. And since I saved the game already, your options are either A, I start a new save file again, or B, I do a chapter with post-commentary. And considering that I didn't find the commentary for this chapter to be all that interesting in the first place, and that this isn't a very interesting chapter in that perspective from my mindset, I chose to do post-commentary instead. So you get to see a bit of a different side of me, as I have a lot more focus intent on my commentary rather than just trying to do the game and splitting my attention. A lot of this chapter is going to be spent leveling up Fear, as well as finishing leveling up Lilina, mainly due to the fact that there's a abundance of axe units in this chapter, as well as just an absolute ridiculous amount of enemies that continue to spawn with no real stakes. This chapter is one of the chapters you can kind of just take your time. It's not anything like Chapter 8 where you have to rush against the thieves, or Chapter 7 where you have to try to rescue all the units that you're getting new, that are green units, as well as handle the reinforcements coming from the south and just the general nightmare that was. Overall, this chapter isn't too bad. There are 2 new units that'll be recruited during this chapter, and that is the main reason that I'm having Shauna fly Roy down south right here. There's this village down here, and you want to get to it as quickly as you can so that it's no longer an issue, because a brigand will spawn later and he will target the village. But if you can get there and close it off beforehand, then it's not a problem. Additionally, the other green unit that we can recruit on this chapter comes from that village. I made a bit of a misplay here having Clarine closer in the range of that hand axe guy. I didn't see him, but all things worked out. Alright, so from here on, everything's going to be sped up in between the cutscenes because this is a very boring chapter to watch. Really, it's a lot of me just training up Fear and getting Lilina a few levels. I make a few misplays here and there, and I'll try to point them out. We're currently playing at triple speed. Done a lot of editing in between, and we get a few levels here and there. But overall, nothing really interesting happens. It's just a lot of guarding this bridge. And that's honestly the way I'd suggest that you take on this chapter, unless you're using all your units. But if you're using Fear, or you're trying to train up a weaker unit, this is a really good chapter to do it. All the enemies have relatively low hit rates and have low defense, but high HP. So they're easy to deal with for lesser units whenever they have backup from stronger units. Like I have Lilina weakening up enemies here for Fear. And additionally, having Roy down here, I'm able to bait out this one mercenary to get him to just come up here until the time comes for me to visit that village. And this is honestly the best advice I can give you for this chapter, is just to kind of consolidate your troops and just kind of take it on as the enemies come to you, because you would otherwise end up in a 2-front fight, which is not ideal. Like I said, unless you're using all of your stronger units. If you're using your stronger units, you can just steamroll this chapter. It's not very hard. Just keep an eye out for, there's a mercenary with a killing edge, and there's a fighter with a halberd. But real quick, Geese, you're really leaving? The lord of that castle killed my mates. I won't let their deaths go unavenged. You mean that crew that was always with you? Yeah. They were taken to the mines and told they would be given work. But they all worked like slaves until they died. Maybe they weren't the brightest bunch, but they were good people. And then they were killed, just like that. Do you intend to avenge them on your own? Is there something wrong with that? No. But I thought you were going to go back to your business, your merchant business. Yeah, well, I've got bigger problems now. Once my mates get their revenge, and once the war subsides, maybe I will. We won't forget you, Geese. You and your crew risked your lives to get us food and supplies. If you ever need anything, we'll be here. Maybe I'll take you up on that if I'm still alive. Thanks. And there is Geese. Geese is a relatively good unit. He is a pirate. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's a pirate. I don't know why I was doubting that, but here's another visit. I'm worried about Lalum. I hope she's alright. She smuggled us weapons so we could defend ourselves. Even when we begged her to hide, she refused and kept helping us. Here's an axe that she brought us. It's a strange one. It's strong against swords, but weak against lances. I'll gladly trade it for her safety, though, so please, take it. And that is a Sword Reaver. It is one of the weapons that is, basically reverses the weapon triangle. And they're pretty useful. Given to the right enemy, or right unit that is weapon locked, like, for example, if I got a Lance Reaver for Roy, it would help him immensely to deal with Lance units. But they aren't that common, really. They're more niche weapons to get. Also, you'll notice that my strategy for Fear has changed now that her weapon level increased. She now has a weapon level of C, so she's using the Killing Edge. I'd been holding back on the Wo Dao because it's a really like, rare weapon, and it's really useful against certain bosses. But the Killing Edge is far more common, and it helps speed up this part of the chapter a lot. And now that Geese has run up there as a pirate, you'll see that he has a Brave Axe, which is a really good weapon. It basically doubles the amount of attacks your unit makes, so if a unit will double, they'll hit 4 times, and if they don't, they hit twice. And as you can see, Fear's Killing Edge is really helping her out, and this is the part where I kind of just spread out my units a bit and start cleaning up the remainder of people. Lilina is relatively close to being promoted. I believe I checked later on in the chapter, I have a Knight's Crest. Oh, Gonzalez. Gonzalez, where are you? Here, I hear. There's a village to the north, right along the mountain. Do you understand? Understand. It may be a resistance base. I want you to go and burn it to the ground, village and all. Village and all? Good. You understand. This is the only use I have for a lump such as you. Now get going, you half-wit, before you forget your orders. I forgot how to speak? Are you trying to say something? No. Such a monstrous face, and yet a needlessly compassionate heart. He will learn the value of destroying a village firsthand. And that is Gonzalez. What I was saying was I kind of spread my units out, and I have a Knight's Crest, a Guiding Ring, and a Hero's Crest. The Knight's Crest can be used to promote Cavaliers and Armor Knights. The Hero's Crest can be used to promote Fighters, Myrmidons, Mercenaries. Oh, Myrmidons and Mercenaries. I don't think there's anything else. And as you'll notice, I have one of each on my team and only one Hero's Crest, so I don't know which one I'm going to be promoting. The Guiding Ring is used to promote pretty much any magic class, and as you'll notice, Lilina almost died there. I did misplay, but I got lucky. So I'm going to have Saul just heal her up real quick with a Mend, and then she'll pick him off, or Fear will kill him off. Yeah, that was it. And Deke finishes off another pirate. And we had another talk with Geese. Yeah, what? You got something to say to me? I want to ask you why you're fighting against the soldiers. Who wants to know? Roy, leader of the Lycian army. We're here on behalf of Etruria. You're with Etruria, and you're with the enemy. Get ready to die. Slow down. We're fighting the castle troops too. And yet Etruria sent you? I don't understand. I don't either. We were sent by Etruria to get rid of the bandits here, but something's strange. You say you're fighting the castle's troops? I'm for hire if you'll take me. What? I'm a seafaring man, so I know both the land and sea around the Isles. You look a bit lost, so I could be a good guide for you. That would help, but why? I want to help with your mission. To be honest, I'm a pirate, so I'm probably the type you were sent to get rid of. But I only go after the rich. They have more than their fair share anyway. Well then, if you'll join us, we're pleased to have you. We don't know this area at all, so it's been difficult thus far. Sounds like we have a deal. Leave it to me. This is it, lads. Can you taste it? You'll have your vengeance. After you do, I might just tag along with this Roy fellow for a while. And there's Geese. I lost where I was, so I'm just going to go on to a different topic. You'll notice that there's Berserker down there on this chapter. He has an incredibly high crit rate. It's just part of his class's innate abilities. Both Berserkers and Swordsmasters have that trait. Their promotion grants them a bonus to their crit rate, their base critical rate. And in his case, I think it's something crazy like 15 or 20%. It's really high. So he's actually a really big threat if you don't approach him correctly. You kind of have to bait him out without letting him hit you, or have to have a unit that can survive a crit, or that has a very high luck stat. Roy's a good example of that, actually. Roy has an incredibly high luck stat for his level and for his point in the game. See, now that we're still fighting pirates, those pirates continue to spawn for quite a while, and that ballista is an issue. Keep Shauna as far away from that as possible. It will absolutely destroy her. It has a massive range and also counts as a bow, so it does triple might to her. You can see I'm kind of trying to be as careful as I can at this point because I've had 2 close calls already and didn't want to replay this chapter. But you can tell that the pirates have poison axes there. I don't know if I've explained that. I feel like I have. But basically deals repeated damage after every turn. And as you can see there, I realized that Gonzalez is getting really close. So I backed up Lilina in fear so that I was out of his range so he would move just 1 space away from me. And I also had to move Ellen because that archer was definitely in range to hit her. And I wanted to avoid that as well. And you'll see why I did that in a moment. Right after this ballista takes a pot shot at Deke. And now Lilina is able to talk to Gonzalez. Excuse me. What you doing? I am enemy. I know. But there's such a look of sorrow in your eyes. There's a village near mountain, you know. Yes, I know it. So people escape. I have order. Destroy village. What? Don't. The villagers are innocent. No, it order. I must. It sounds to me like you should leave the person who gave you that order. Leave? Yes, you can fight with us. We're protecting the villagers. No, I'm a monster. People mean to me. People throw stones. People say, go away, you a monster. Not human. That's horrible. Of course you're human. You're a very kind-hearted man, I can tell. Please, come with us. Don't be afraid. Me afraid? I'm never afraid. Everyone afraid of me. I'm not afraid. No, you are afraid. You're afraid that people will throw stones and call you a monster. But you don't have to be afraid of us. Everyone in our army is nice. They won't do that to you. Be brave. Take that first step, and you'll never have to be afraid again. And we have Gonzalez. Gonzalez comes with a Devil's Axe, which is a weapon that I want as far away from my units as possible. The Devil's Axe is basically a really, really strong axe that has the ability to deal a lot of damage, but also can backfire on the unit. And I believe the chance is something like 20% minus the unit's luck. It might be higher than that, actually. But it's ridiculous. And if it happens to backfire when you crit, which it also has a high ratio of, your unit's just dead. Like, you just lost a unit. It can be used strategically, but it's a gamble, always. It's never a safe option. Unlike using pretty much any other weapon as long as you read over the calculations well enough. You made it all the way here, but I shall take your pathetic lives. And you can see that he has Nosferatu. And Nosferatu is a spell that when hitting hitting a unit, it actually absorbs the health for that person. So as you can see here, it actually healed that that shaman. And just like any other magic, it can be used from 1 to 2 range. And this is the point where I decided it's not really worth Shauna sitting down there and trying to fight this guy when I can just deal with him later. So I just back off and I try to bait everybody else out. We're relatively close to the end of this chapter at this rate. The hardest part is just getting Gonzalez while avoiding this ballista. Lilina is kind of frail, but the ballista does have a limited amount of uses. And you'll notice there that Berserker had a 28% chance crit rate on Fear, and I got lucky, because I didn't think that Berserker could reach me. And that's another example of a mistake I almost made. So I got lucky that crit didn't happen. If it did, she was dead. That was it. That would have been the end of the story. No questions asked. So ultimately, I got pretty lucky with that one. But this is a new style of post-commentary I wanted to try out, as Fear's just decimating these enemies with a killing edge. I normally have other music over the commentary as I did it, and it's usually only a part of my episode. And in most cases where I would get stuck with a messed up recording where I only had the gameplay, I would just re-record. But with Fire Emblem, I can't really do that if I've saved, because of the way that the saving works. It's not like Pokemon where I had save states, and many other games have multiple saves, like a quick save and then other saves as well. But in the case of this game, you save and that's it. And each chapter is important in my mind, to show ways to get around, and generally just have the story be experienced. Gonzalez is a unit that I will be using. I will not be using Geese, but I still have him kind of take a back seat for this chapter, as I'm still trying to train up the units that I am prepared to promote. Like Lance is a unit I'm working towards promoting, and Lilina is a unit that I will actually promote before the end of this chapter. And additionally, Fear is someone that I want to promote. I think Fear is going to be the first person that I use the Hero's Crest on, because Swordsmasters are, well, Swordsmasters are bad, but they're the best they've been in this game. Swordsmasters are sword locked, which is bad, and they are foot locked, which is bad. But they do have a high crit ratio, they are very evasive units, and as I said, I think Fear doesn't get enough love. So by using her, I wanted to promote her, and she's the unit I feel benefits most from it. Whereas Deke and Lot can both still find use due to their bulk and their just ability to deal chip damage. Fear is a unit that you kind of need to invest into to have be good, but that's kind of the name of the game with a lot of units that join later that are low levels. And you can see here that it's now kind of just a game of how many people can I have Fear kill and how many people do I have to kill with other units. Because this is a point where I do not want units sitting around my team, because it's very not safe. I'm kind of in the open now. I don't have a bridge to cut off my path the same way I did earlier. And you can see that the way I'm moving Roy and Lilina is I'm trying to keep them together to continue growing their supports. And you'll see there that Lilina capped out Magic. And as you saw with Shauna, I promoted her after she capped out Speed. Granted, Lilina, the big thing she's missing is Speed. And I was feeling generous and hopeful, so I continued to try to give her another level or two, just to try to get her to get one more speed before I promoted her. And I promote her during the chapter because you are unable to use promotion items outside of battle in this game. Other Fire Emblem games allow it, but this one does not. I'm not really sure why, honestly. And I move Fear ahead to try to take out this guy, because I planned on having Lance kill off that one. Alright, and we are approaching the very end of this chapter. And I don't know if you've noticed during this fast forward, but all of these axe units that I've been fighting have been coming from reinforcements from the castles on the bottom. And here's where I'm kind of going over all my crests and looking over what I can do. I'm like, alright, here's who I can do it with. I was talking about potentially promoting a healer at some point, once I get another guiding ring. And the one that is up for debate for that, and they will be promoted at level 10. I'm not promoting them at level 20. That takes way too long to level up a healer to that point. They end up being useless. The one I was debating was Clarine, because Clarine is by far the most useful in her promoted state. She becomes Valkyrie, which is a mounted unit with magic and staves, so it's very good. I think I had to cut shortly here, but this will be alright. It's only going to be a couple of seconds. There we go. I believe one of the members of my family tried to talk to me. I was checking all the stats there, and you can see this is where the support comes in really handy with Lilina and Roy. She only had like a 50% chance to hit with fire, or it's like 56 or something like that. And then with Roy standing next to her, she bumps that all the way up to 80, like 85, which makes her far more reliable. And she additionally gets a, what I believe was a 12 or a 15% crit off that. And yeah, as you can see here, I'm trying to feed her this kill. And there's the Nosferatu acting again. And right here, I was actually trying to get Lilina hit again, because I was just a couple of fights short of having her level up, and then a boss gives almost a full level. So my goal here was to get hit, and then on the boss phase, get hit again. And I put Ellen there since she's out of the range of the boss. And there's level 10 on Ellen. But yeah, my hope was that he would get hit here. Or she would get here, but then she crits. And there's another level up. She gets just defense, and that's where I decide, you know what, that's it. Good enough. Whatever. I'm gonna give her restock her while I'm at it. She takes that, and here's the promotion. So Lilina has gone from a level 1 mage on Chapter 8 to a level 19 mage to a level 1 sage. And the promotion bonuses for this class are also crazy. She gains 3 health, 3 magic, 3 skill, 3 speed, 1 defense, 2 resistance, and a move. The biggest point here to think about is her 3 speed, which she has desperately needed. That actually puts her close to on par with Roy, puts her on par with Gonzalez, and gives her a chance to actually start doubling some units. That's something I'm very excited about, and I'm just healing her up to give Ellen a little bit more experience. And as a sage, she can now also wield staves, so that's very good. But I think that's gonna be it, so let's finish up this chapter. Lord Roy. We couldn't find any evidence explaining Sir Nord's aggression. But now, we know for certain that somebody wants our heads, not heels. I think we should contact the Truia about this. Yes, I'll send a message to General Cecilia. Excuse me, Lord Roy. We found a girl imprisoned in the dungeon. She wishes to speak with you. To me, let her pass. Yes, my lord. You're Roy? The one who's here to clear out the bandits? Yes, that's me. I beg you, Roy. Please, rescue my friends. Whoa, easy there. Hey, get off of him. Calm down and tell me everything. You say your friends are in danger? My name is Lalem. I'm part of the resistance force on the Isles. The force that's fighting against the bandits. Yes. Actually, no. No. That's part of it, but the real enemy is Etruria. They work with the bandits to squeeze every bit out that they can, or that they can out of the people here. What? Is that true? The lords living here take people into the mines and work them to death. They're allowed no rest, even when they're sick or injured. That's terrible. We're fighting Etruria to stop this abuse. Our next plan was to attack the mine at Aberacum and rescue the people there, but... Calm down. You can tell me. A villager here leaked the details of the plan. He was probably tortured. I have to go to the mines before the resistance is ambushed. Then there's no time to spare. We'll back up the resistance force and rescue the people being forced into labor. Truly, you will? Thank you, Roy. Whoa, Lalem. Hey, I said get off of him. Here, Roy, use this sword. What is it? It's called a Worm Slayer. It's effective against Wyvern Riders, and it said it was used against dragons, too. Who can say, though? It might come in handy. It belongs to Echidna, the leader of the Resistance. You're helping us, though, so you can have it for now. And we're going to give that Worm Slayer to Roy instead of the Killing Edge, is what I believe I decided on. Because Fear will use the Killing Edge, and Roy having other stuff is useful. But that's going to be it for Chapter 10. And I'll meet you guys back here for Chapter 11. But until then, I'll see you guys then.